Tighten your lines as we get ready to sail the seven seas on the Political Pirate Podcast. Join Captain Ted Yoho and the salty dog John Martin as they search far and wide for the greatest treasure of all, the truth. From local Florida news to nationwide stories and the globe beyond, we've got it all mapped out. Now here's your hosts, the salty dog John Martin and Captain Ted Yoho.
Archer Automotive, it's the only place to get your vehicles, trucks, anything service that you need to service with an engine, transmission, and brakes. They are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. I just lost my note here. But they'll take care of all your needs. You know, they've got a great team of people down there, and I can't speak highly enough about the work they do. They're located at 15901 Southwest Archer Road, Archer, Florida, and their phone number is 352-494 or 495-2485. 352-495-2485, and tell them you got referred there by the Political Pirate Podcast, John and Ted.
Absolutely. Well, when we went to commercial break, I left you kind of with the question about, will Trump get any credit? What's his legacy? We talked a little bit about the midterms. I want to play you a video of Hakeem Jeffries, who would be probably the next Speaker of the House. God help us if the Democrats take back power. This was just over the weekend on Meet the Press. He was asked this question, and I want you to hear his response, and we'll come back and talk about it.
Democrats do, in fact, take back the House. I want to get an understanding of what your top priorities would be. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, your colleague, said this back in April, quote, President Trump has launched a massive war of enormous risk and of catastrophic consequence without reason, rationale, or congressional authorization, which is as clear a violation of the Constitution as any. All of these incidents and plenty more have clearly driven our country past the threshold for impeachment. Do you agree if Democrats take back the House, will you move to impeach President Trump?
We haven't ruled anything in or ruled anything out in terms of accountability. What we have said is that our focus is going to be to make life more affordable for the American people. We have to drive down the high cost of living. We have to restore the American dream, which a lot of people understandably have concluded is broken.
Well, there you have it, Ted. Hakeem Jeffries. We hadn't ruled anything out. Our focus should be on bringing down the cost of living and keeping the American dream alive. You served in Congress. Was there any time in your service and even now where that was the focus of the Democratic Party, to keep the American dream alive and to bring costs down? I can't remember that.
No, the American dream is dead according to them, and it's under attack. And that's something I said when I ran, and I truly believe it. I believe it now. And it's dead, or it's under attack because of overregulation by government. It's overtaxation by government. It's government interfering in business. It's people like Obama saying, you don't need to make more than $250,000. They want to put a cap on what you make. It's people like Tim Kaine, the senator out of Virginia, saying, your rights come from government. You need to yield to government. And so, no, these people are so off of what really the American dream is about. They don't think you can achieve it because you're being suppressed. And Hakeem Jeffries, he's getting more astute, because in the past he would have said, absolutely, we're going to impeach him day one. But now it's about the cost of living coming down. Well, the cost of living was terrible under them. You know, the price of gas right now is bad, and people know that, but that will come down. We've seen that do that in the past. But don't think Hakeem Jeffries will not stop any proposal to impeach Trump day one if they get the majority. It'll come in. Every Democrat will vote on it, maybe even some Republicans. And they will work to impeach Donald Trump. And go back to Trump's first term when impeachment happened. Look at how they straddled him and just boxed him in. And we never got the full benefit of what he could have done. We can't let this go back into their hands. If you do, God bless America, because it will not be the America that we have today. It'll change. I mean, DEI, wokeism, transgender sport. I mean, all that nonsense that they did will be back on steroids, John. The Supreme Court will be stacked in their favor. They'll try to get rid of the Electoral College, and they will bring in the District of Columbia and Puerto Rico as states. That'll bring in four new senators that are Democrat leaning.
Yeah,
So have a
well,
nice day if you bring them in.
well, their version of the American dream and people like your and mine's version is totally different. I mean, I
Yeah,
think I can speak for you in this sense, Ted, that we believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit, not the guarantee, but the pursuit of happiness. They believe in equal outcome regardless of your ability, your work ethic. They want everybody to have the equal same outcome. And if that's the case, then you're looking at Hunger Games where the average everyday person is exactly the same, and only an elite few, like Obama, who they love money, they want you to be limited, but they want to live the lifestyle of the rich and famous, while they're on that shining city on the hill like the Wizard of Oz, and the rest of us are just at the same equal outcome level. That is their American dream. To me, it's an American nightmare.
it is, because they've eroded the middle class. And so what you get is you get the upper scales like the Obamas and the Elizabeth Warrens and Bernie Sanders, and then you get the serfs. And it's our labor, our effort that provides what they have. And so you don't have the middle class. You have an eroding middle class. And that's really the unique thing about America is we have such a large middle class, and they want to lessen that. And they're doing it. And it goes back to Lyndon Johnson's LBJ, the Great Society. When they started increasing government programs, welfare, all these things, food stamps, and it just goes on, and then work to get no work requirements to get any benefits. All you have to do is exist. You deserve a living wage, John. Just because you're breathing, you deserve a living wage. And I grew up in that era, and America was built on, no work, no pay. You go back to the Mayflower Compact when they wrote that. If you didn't work, you didn't eat. And I think I don't know when it became unfashionable not to work in America and think it's okay. It's not. It's laziness, and it's unbiblical.
Well, they mentioned that about AOC in that last video, but I want to play something from Ocasio-Cortez just a couple of weeks ago, less than a month ago. She said this about your ability to earn a good chunk of money. Check this out.
Right? You can't earn $1 billion.
That's right.
You just can't earn that.
That's exactly correct.
You can get market power, you can break rules, you can do all sorts of things. You can abuse labor laws.
Yep.
You can pay people less than what they're worth.
Yep.
But you can't earn that, right?
That's
and
right.
so you have to create a myth that since you didn't earn that, you have to create a myth of earning it.
So making $1 billion, becoming wealthy in America is a myth, Ted. I mean, unbelievable.
What about she should go and say that to Beyonce and Jay-Z and Taylor Swift, all these people that have become billionaires. The guy you had on from BET, we had a thing on him, a black man billionaire, And so she's saying this. I mean, how Columbia University gave her a degree for economics or whatever her major was. I mean, it's a joke. She has absolutely no clue of what it is out in the real world. And, who do you think creates jobs? The bar she worked at, was that guy on food stamps and government assistance where she was bartending? Is that how she got her hand up in life? It's opportunity. It's opportunity that the government provides by making sure there's rule of law and that we protect our God-given rights, not rights from the government. They protect our God-given rights to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, as you so well pointed out. And so, again, people like her, I don't know why the media puts her on there because she is just so out of touch. Anyways, Yeah, go talk to Elon Musk and ask him. Here, an immigrant that comes to this country, and he's the first trillionaire in human history.
Absolutely. Well, unfortunately, we may see a ticket of Kamala Harris for president, AOC for vice president, and their slogan. I got a slogan for them if they do that, though. Every drunk
Yeah,
needs a
I do
good
too.
bartender. Every drunk needs a good bartender. So that would
I've
be
got one.
Go ahead.
I've got one. It would be Dumb and Dumber.
I hear you. But you mentioned Mr. Elon Musk, who now has bypassed the billionaire class, so to speak. And with the release of the IPO for SpaceX, he is going to be, if he's not already, the first trillionaire. Now, before you get crazy about whether that's fair or not, to me, the real story of what Elon Musk has accomplished and shoots holes all through what Ms. Ocasio-Cortez just said is this video right here. Check this out.
Great video.
At SpaceX.
And a friend that I met at another job ended up in SpaceX. And then he called me. And I told him, I don't even know what SpaceX is, but let's go, you know.
Hernandez says he worked there for 10 years, rising to supervisor, still holding 6,500 shares of SpaceX.
How much money do you stand to make in this IPO?
That opening is going to be like around, $880,000.
$880,000.
Yes. As an immigrant, I was always taught just to work hard, do the best I can, what I do. And thanks to SpaceX, you see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Do you feel like you've achieved the American dream?
Yeah, but there's no reason to stop.
Well, Ted, there you got a guy thinking he's going to make $800,000 off that stock sale. I got good news for him. He made over $1 million, Ted. $1,046,175. We've got an immigrant, oh my God, a legal immigrant in this country that is now a millionaire because of his, quote, his efforts, but the vision of Elon Musk, a billionaire, now trillionaire.
One of those evil billionaires, like you said, first trillionaire, and Juan Hernandez was the guy in that video. And just over 10 years later, since he migrated to the United States, he's a millionaire. And so did he make that money? He made that money because he worked. He went to work. He took advantage of, get this, opportunity, because Elon Musk created SpaceX, and he's building a city out there in Brownsville, Texas area. And he had a friend that recommended that he comes there and weld, because you can get 8,600 shares of stock. And he did that. So he took advantage of opportunity. He's a millionaire. I don't think he wants to listen to AOC. He wants opportunity. And if you go on, he's teaching his kids how to be invest their money so that they can be maybe millionaires or billionaires in the future. And they're not going to buy the garbage that the Dems and AOC are spewing. They're lies.
Yeah, well, Ocasio-Cortez in that video said one way you get to be a billionaire is to pay people less than their worth, mistreat people. Well, when he...
Do you think the American people are tired of that?
I hope
we'll find out in the next elections.
Well, when he signed on with SpaceX, they offered him $10,000 worth of their stock as part of his compensation. And he said at the time he didn't think much of it. But that $10,000 turned into now $1 million for that gentleman and his family. If that's not creation of wealth and shows the difference and makes a total ass out of what Ocasio-Cortez said, I don't know what else does.
Well, the whole liberal progressive agenda, Hakeem Jeffries, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, all those people, it just takes that whole argument away. This is where the media should be bashing those people and say, what you said is wrong. You're telling the American people wrong. But instead, they float them out there and say, all right, now we've got them against this side. So they keep that going back instead of just saying, your message is wrong. American people aren't buying that. Think how that would change. This is where the legacy media being controlled by outside groups, China, people that don't care, Soros and others. I mean, there's that guy that was running for governor in California. What was his name? The billionaire.
Oh yeah, Stein.
Those are the ones that are anti-American. Yeah, Steyer. Um, those are the ones that are just really hateful of this country, and they don't have a solution. It's just it's bad over here. You want to join our side? I want to be with Juan Hernandez. I want to line up with these people that are making money and they're making things happen in life, in their life, their family's life, in American.
Yeah, well, you mentioned that Mr. Hernandez about his kids. Well, he says here that he has taken what he learned, and his children have been watching about the stock market now, and his 16-year-old daughter is learning how to invest, and that he says she's a little entrepreneur herself now. I mean, to me, that right there is what the American dream is all about. You talk about changing a family's. I mean, they're immigrants who came here, and now a 16-year-old girl is learning how to invest money and all of that kind of stuff, thinking about their future, maybe looking at the cell phone for something other than the latest game you can play on it. I mean, it's transitional, life-changing wealth that is happening. The same thing Donald Trump is actually trying to do with the Trump funds and all of that, make people responsible. I mean, this is everything that opposite of what Ocasio-Cortez and the Democrats are pushing. This is the pursuit of happiness rather than the guarantee.
Yeah, there's no guarantee, and she could lose all of her money. He could lose all of his money, and that's probably the best dichotomy that you see, one side versus the other of what they offer. You get Mr. Hernandez took a chance, went to work for a company. He's made over $1 million in the stock in 10 years, and he's passing that information that he's learned to his kids, teaching them how to better their life, how to be self-sufficient. Whereas the other side, and we know all the bad players over there, they're saying you can't achieve that because this side is taking advantage of you. Elon Musk took advantage of her father, and that's why they need to vote for us because we'll take care of you, and we don't want that kind of taken care of. Because what happens is socialism leads to communism. Communism controls everything. They control all the input costs, all the output costs, and they control what you're going to earn. And you're seeing that right now. I mean, look at the lady that is in charge of housing in New York City. She said nobody should own private property. It should be the state property. And they're going after people that own these living units, whether it's a duplex, fourplex, or office or a big condominium. She thinks that all should be state controlled. That's really what's happening, and it's happening right in front of us. I hope enough people wake up and throw these bums out.
Yeah, well, you mentioned her. To me, she's a dream killer. I mean, to lock people into public housing for generations is a dream killer. This guy, Mr. Hernandez, he said something that really resonated with me. It's powerful. He said that if he had the chance to talk to Elon Musk, he would thank him for helping him get this, Ted, realize a dream he didn't know he had.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, how would that make you feel? Knowing that you created something, you created a business that allowed this to happen, and you spread the wealth. How many millionaires did Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders or AOC create versus how many did Elon Musk create?
Absolutely. But he goes on to say about Musk, he said he made it a possibility for somebody like us, the cook or the electrician. He's making all these lives much better and meaningful for their families as well. I mean, it's just amazing what he's saying right there. And I wonder, do the Democrats still hate Elon Musk? I'm sure they do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because they didn't get any stock from him. They probably think he should have given everybody 8,600 shares. Juan Hernandez, we salute you and your family, and you are living the American dream.
Well, Juan Hernandez and his family are living the American dream. We got a picture showing him with his family literally in
That's
front
a
of a
great picture.
SpaceX rocket, and I just say the congregation say amen. I mean, it's just
Amen. I can give you a second one. No, I mean, that's really what we should focus on. These wars, things like that. Yeah, those are a necessity so that we have national security. But we need to make them far and few in between. Walk softly, carry big stick, and trust and verify when you get into these negotiations. I'm going to leave you with Musk fled California.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, it's the opposite of the American dream because we all used to be California dreaming. Back when I was a kid, Ted,
Sure.
we all thought, man, one day I'll go out to California. And now people are like, man, if I could just get the hell out of California. But Musk himself fled California, took his business to Texas, and as you said last show, building a city out there. But Fareed Zakaria, who is no right wing or no MAGA person, he said that that he went off on California on his Sunday show. He said that California's failing Democratic leadership for turning the state into a high tax mess that does nothing for middle class natives except increasingly send them looking for ways to escape. That's what he said about California.
That just shows you how he's changed, or how much California has changed. And you had the Democrats at one point. Now they're the liberal progressives. They're really socialist communists. That's who is in charge of that once relished Southern Democrat Party. Minus the Jim Crow and the KKK and all that garbage. They were patriots. And Fareed Zakaria, he's changed because he's seen how far they went.
Yeah, well, he pointed out on his show, Ted, I want to read this kind of sums up everything that is wrong with the progressive left, which has now basically become the Democratic Party. He pointed out that the state, talking about California's population, has grown roughly 15% since 2000, but the state's spending has increased by more than 200% over that same time. He said California now spends about $6,300 per person, up from $2,300 in Y2K. And he went on to say, does anyone think that California government and its benefits have gotten 200% better in the last 25 years? I mean, he makes a great point, Ted.
It really is a great point. And I mean, that's just proof in the pudding. I mean, that's a reality check right there. And this is where it comes down to state politics and local politics. You need to hold people accountable at the local level, at the county level, at the state level to change this stuff around, or you're going to get it worse and worse. You can't wait for the federal government. And unfortunately, the federal government has got the SALT tax in there for state and local tax on these high tax states, on real estate and all that. The rest of America has to pay into I don't want to say into a fund, but we have federal spending to offset the high cost of these taxes on state and local taxes. So that's your real estate taxes and sales taxes. So the rest of the country is getting taxed to offset the burden in these high states like California, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, I forget the other ones. And it's because they don't pay attention at the local level. They just have their hand out. Can you see that? Their hand out like this to say, I want my free stuff. I want my free stuff. The free stuff needs to come to an end, and it's going to. And I say that, and I know I'm right on this because the free stuff that was going out through USAID got pulled back, and there's gnashing of teeth and turning of heads and swearing because these NGOs wanted their free stuff. Where about 30 to 40% of that money was really going to where it was supposed to. The rest was going to people like Gavin Newsom's wife that on the diaper thing, a diaper gate, where they were giving all this money or these free diapers to kids, but they're paying like 5-6 times more per diaper because the NGO had to pay their people. Their nonprofit had to pay people.
Well, if you want to know how crazy it's getting out in California, of course, they just had the runoff election, or they're going to have a runoff election, I guess, that they had. So the L.A. mayor, Karen Bass, she won, and it looks like a liberal is going to challenge her even further left than her. And, of course, the governor's race now has this Becerra guy against Mr. Hilton. That's California's last chance. But in California right now, remember the Palisades fires, Ted, that kind of sparked the run of...
I sure do.
Well, Karen Bass, who is the mayor at that time and is still the mayor trying to be, her brother, Kenneth Bass, is now suing L.A. because of the very fires that she didn't help put out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that sounds great on there, but when you look at why he's suing, it was for injuries from smoke inhalation and mental anguish. You know, to me, that's a bogus reason to sue, but it is ironic that it's her brother. You know, I don't know. We'll see how that turns out.
Well, apparently he donated to his sister even after all of that. Maybe family dynamics are where they are. I wonder if he secretly voted for Pratt in the actual election. I doubt it.
If he had a modicum of common sense, he would have. And you know, again, you get what you vote for. So if they get Karen Bass or the more radical one, enjoy it.
Yeah, that's saying something when you're more radical than Karen Bass, which she apparently is. But I think California's actually, I know people are leaving, moving out like Fareed Zakaria was talking about. I would encourage people maybe hang in there. I don't blame you for moving out, but hang in there to the November elections and see if we can actually get a Republican back in office. I'll believe it when I see it, but I believe that's California's last chance probably in our lifetime to change things.
Yeah, you're probably right there, John. I think you are. You know, and it's such a beautiful state. I've got relatives that live out there. They love it. They're conservatives, but they feel isolated.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, you've heard me say that California went from the jewel to the stool. They literally in San Francisco, one of the most beautiful cities on the planet, now has an official poop map that tells you where human feces is compiled the most on the sidewalk for you to dodge it. To me, that pretty much sums up the success of the left in California.
That's pretty bad. When you have to have things like that, it's like a Jeff Foxworthy story. Here's your sign.
Yeah, well, I got one more quick little thing. We're about out of time that I
Please
didn't put
do
in
it.
notes, but I wanted to get your opinion on this. In Fairfax County, Virginia, the school board there is because parents have been complaining that less than 50% of the time the kids have a 5-day school week because they have these teacher planning days, work days, and all that. So they were complaining about that. So guess what the solution of the Fairfax County School Board is? To eliminate all religious holidays during school to compensate for that. Get rid of Christmas and all of that. That is their response to that. That is their official suggestion.
You got me on that one, John. I've not heard that, but that, you know, again, that's the rational thought of a moron. Oh yeah, let's fix it this way by making it worse. Again, you get what you pay for or get what you vote. And if we want a strong country, we have got to educate the next generations. We've got to do it right with what's going on in the world. You know, with AI coming up and all this, we need to be teaching kids this. We need to teach them responsibility. I'm sure you've seen all those, I don't know what they call them, where the youth go in there and they bash up restaurants and all that.
Yeah,
that's what's wrong with society. You get no responsibility for your actions. Those kids need to be brought up or picked up, and they need to be held accountable. They need to be put into a work program, and their parents need to be there too. To allow kids to go off and do that kind of garbage. You know, I know what I would do with my kids if I caught them doing that, and they know what I had done. And so, you know, it's a shame that our country's come to that, and we cannot continue on this way. And that's why, you know, when I told you when Carolyn and I went to Rome Rome, and Verano, and over there in Italy, and we saw the Colosseums, just absolutely gorgeous. But then we went to the Eastern Bloc countries where there's graffiti on everything. They had just lost all hope for the future, and they weren't taught properly how to respect and take care of that. And if we don't do that in this country, it's going to collapse from within.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for our show today. We hope you like what we're doing. Share what we're doing far and wide. Make that call. Call Freddie. Become a sponsor, supporter of our show. I'll close out and turn it back to you, Ted, with this. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Safe travels
Happy birthday
in Europe and everything else. And congratulations to Mr. Juan Hernandez for being the latest millionaire created, and he's in line with 400 others that were created by Elon Musk, an evil billionaire. Take us out.
It was 4,000, right?
4,000.
An evil.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, it was Mr. Juan Hernandez, a new millionaire created by a billionaire that is now a trillionaire, and he was sharing the wealth. But we appreciate everybody tuning in and watching. Share our program far and wide. Ask people to become sponsors. We're asking people to become sponsors, and we depend on your support to get this show out. We want to grow this. We've got the midterms coming out, and if we lose the midterm and I go back to the Democrats, I think everybody that's watching this show knows the peril this country will be in the future of this country. And so the goal is to get that word out. And we want you to visit our sponsors, Steve Spurrier and the Gridiron Grill in Gainesville, Florida. Just a great venue, great food, great service. And Archer Automotive at 15901 Southwest Archer Road in the beautiful metropolis town of Archer, Florida. Their phone number is 352-495-2485. And this is for all your diesel, foreign, and domestic cars, tires, transmission, brakes, any friendly service, fast service, and price. And we will see you on Friday. Later.